Okay. So, I just finished up stream. It was exhausting, a very exhausting floodgate progression night. But at the very end of my stream, I hopped onto PTR and I was kind of messing around with some stuff. And I think, I think I've found something that's kind of goofy. And I think I'm gonna be testing it later this week. We'll kind of see. I'm not really sure. Basically, the idea and the premise is playing Master of Harmony with Press the Advantage. And so the main issue with Press the Advantage, I mean, there's a lot of issues with Press the Advantage, but it kind of has like this anti-synergy with Overwhelming Force in the Master of Harmony kit, making it so you can't actually Tiger Palm because it replaces Tiger Palm, reducing the amount of buttons you have available to hit, which can be a good thing, but you miss out on that damage from your fillers. And on top of that, when you are spinning, for example, you cannot melee while you're channeling. So you have to wait till that channel is done before you actually start accumulating Press the Advantage stacks. But there is a slight workaround. So when we're currently playing Shadowboxing Treads with it being a 4-second standard cooldown on Blackout Kick, there's like these awkward gaps in your rotation, and you can spin to fill, and you can play something like Charred Passions, for example, to kind of allow that damage of both Blackout Kick that also cleaves and Spinning Crane Kick to work, but it also slows down the accumulation of your Press the Advantage stacks, which can be problematic throughout an entire run or throughout a Mythic Plus or like a raid fight. So hear me out. Fluidity in motion actually reduces Blackout Kick's cooldown by 1 second. Now, someone brought this up to me the other day. I think it was in Discord, and I said it would be like a cold day in hell before we ever play Fluidity in motion. But playing Fluidity and playing something like Rushing Jade Wind and playing Breath of Fire kind of allows you to have enough spells to hit at all times to make up for the fact that you're not playing Tiger Palm. While the Blackout Kick technically is doing less damage, it's still technically also cleaving, benefiting from Overwhelming Force, giving you more consistent damage. If you ever do need to spin, Charred Passions is available. I have maybe thought about not running it and opting for, I guess, like maybe Facepalm. The problem with Facepalm is your auto attacks don't necessarily do more damage. I think you benefit from, if I'm not mistaken, you benefit from the additional cooldown every time you dodge an attack. But you'll definitely want to be playing at least Salsalabim Strength because you, again, need the kind of, not even energy economy, but you need the spell to be filled at some point. So there's even an argument to play Dragonfire Brew instead, which probably is a fine option. And so most of your damage is going to look fairly similar. So you're going to go in, use Rushing Jade, you're going to apply Keg, get Breath of Fire active. But now, what's kind of nice about this is Fluidity in Motion is going to allow us to kind of always have a button to hit, and that's a good thing, right? Now, the one thing that is really cool about I guess PTA is that when I do hit 10 stacks here, auto attack, so now I'm at 10, so my next Keg Smash or Rising Sun Kick will proc this, which will also proc my potential energy, and I'm at 6 stacks. So when I go in here and I get a Rising Sun Kick, I just did 10 million damage in a single global, and one of them crit for 6.6 mil. And now let's say this was single target. I would have potentially almost, I guess, like hit for, it does the damage together, so it's going to do about 6 mil damage. It's about a 12 million damage hit in single target. So it does consume all your stacks at once, which is kind of nice. So your idea is before you hit 10, you need to make sure you're getting, obviously, enough vitality kind of spent or Celestial Brews used before you use that Running Sun Kick. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're only at 2 stacks or 4 stacks or 3 or 5, whatever, but the higher stacks you can get to, the better. So here, once again, we're going into that. We're about to hit 10. I can Rising Sun Kick, and boom, everything gets expelled there. And this one, not so great this time around. I didn't have all 6 stacks, and it only it had 2 normal hits for 2 mil, but kind of an interesting concept here. And so what's also nice about this is that a lot of your damage that you're going to be doing in AoE, you might be thinking, oh, well, you're not cleaving with Blackout or a Blackout Kick. You're not really able to spin because you're going to slow down PTA. So where does your damage come from? Well, that's what's kind of cool about this, is a lot of your damage in AoE is going to come from the fact that you just have Rushing Jade Wind up. That's going to help with some aura damage. What's also going to be nice is when you have Rushing Jade Wind up, it's actually going to cause Stomp to trigger quite often, and Stomp is and has been doing a lot of our AoE damage in kind of larger pulls. And so this almost becomes like this really janky. Don't get me wrong. This is not. I'm just trying to cook. I'm trying to cook some weird meal with a lot of weird ingredients, but it's very kind of like hit whatever comes up whenever it does. You get to 10 stacks, you're also now going to be doing like 10% more damage, and then boom, we keg smash. It's going to keg smash twice. That means we benefit double from CDR, giving us more casts of infusion. Our auto attacks are also reducing the cooldown by an additional second every single time we auto attack. So we're just getting a ton of cooldown reduction all the time for us to kind of do high damage. A lot of it's going to be coming from Stomp, the additional keg smashes as well. I'm clearly not optimizing this in any way. I'm kind of just hitting buttons, but kind of an interesting concept in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to take this into a key and just see what it can maybe do. So let's go maybe try to find a... Now, okay, so it is like... I think it's like 2 in the morning right now, my time. Which is a terrible time to test, by the way. Because everyone's asleep. So what I'm probably going to do is I may come back to this at some point. But let me know what you guys think. Does this have potential to be a cook? Or is this just like, or is this laughable? I have a feeling it's laughable, but I need to see what it looks like in Mythic Plus, because you're benefiting also from things like Anvil and Stave. You're also going to have higher stagger, so Dragonfire Brew should, in theory, do more damage. It's also going to make using like something like Nizao the Black Ox more viable. So there's a lot of things that need to function, or I need to see in Mythic Plus, before I can really make a judgment call here. Or maybe what we do is I go to Gambit. Let's just set this to like a 12, just so we don't have a fixes to deal with. We'll go Gambit. Oh, this might be actually kind of nuts. Hold on. Gambit, 12. Teleport me to Tezavesh. All right, so for the record, I don't have a healer. So this is gonna be rough. Hopefully dungeons are still active. It's loading. What is... Maybe keys don't work, so F. What the fuck? Hello? That was so weird. Alright. We slam. Alright, so don't judge this first pull. I don't even know what I'm pulling. I think I'm just gonna do one pack and just kind of see. We're just gonna go right down here. Well, this might actually not be the best idea. So here's my first burst of damage. That definitely wasn't noticeable, so... Oh. More casters came in. So, actually, like, not terrible, right? I mean, Harmonic Surge feels like it's doing a lot less damage, and I believe that might simply be the fact that I'm probably capping them too much, or maybe it's just the fact that I am in a larger AoE pool, so it's going to look like it's doing less damage. But as you can see, like, a lot of my damage is actually coming from just like Stomp and Keg Smash. And even our little cow here is helping out, so I don't know, that didn't feel terrible. Let's see, Skullcrown, let's see, the thing is I don't want these pulls to live forever. It might be the case where maybe we can run. Yeah, honestly, like, it's hard to tell, because I am just in a 12 and it's like one pack at a time and like it's mostly physical damage, but so this pull went on for like a little bit longer and like lower pull counts, but it's like a lot of my damage actually is... You're getting a lot of the damage is actually coming from Stomp. It's actually my highest damage currently. Followed by Keg Smash, shortly followed by Chi Burst, and pretty much everything in our kind of our Master of Harmony tree. It's doing like 25% of our damage here. Our pet is obviously doing a fair bit as well. I am not running Call to Arms either, so I'm not getting random cow procs, which is what Call to Arms is. You have a chance, I think it's about a 30% chance to trigger Call to Arms when you proc press the advantage. But it actually makes it so most of your damage is kind of like passive almost, right? Passive proc, this is like part of your rotation. This is a burst, like passive, passive, passive. This is like burst damage, passive, passive. Like, yeah, you're using it. But then Breath of Fire is also doing 4.2, 2.8, so that's 7% of my damage. Almost 10% of my damage is Breath of Fire. So like Breath of Fire is kind of coming back, then a lot of this other stuff is just like this tertiary shit. Press the advantage is technically the autos, like additional auto damage, basically. So I think this build has potential, but I like don't know what that potential actually is. So I'll do a slightly bigger pull here. This probably isn't going to work out the way I want it to, though, because this other big guy is coming. Raising, holy shit. And so they're going to heal a lot here, mostly because the fish stick is active. But I want to see, like, how long can I live for? You're also getting a ton more CDR because of the ability to hit blackout combo, like, every third global. And so, yeah, these mobs are just going to live forever, but that's okay. So, like, here I can go for, like, a bigger DR. And then on my next one, I can, like, go for, like, extra cooldown recovery so I can get my infusion up, so I'm taking less damage. I'm about to get another infusion. I can touch it at this. I have my trinket. And so, like, am I crazy or is this, like, not terrible? Get some CDR again, and then I'm going to go into this, and then I'll go for a big, juicy chi burst. And then I can come and do this again. Like, I'm just living. I don't know. I'm sure most tanks can probably live this damage. Like, this is all just auto damage to me. Like, I'm staggering the majority of this, but I don't know, man. So, I was alive in that pull for almost 2 minutes I lived for. And as you can see, Stomp ended up doing the like, so much of my damage. Chi Burst, Aspect of Harmony, Keg Smash is actually being fairly competitive. Again, Breath of Fire doing 4.5, 3.5. So this is what, 8% plus another 2.4. So 10.4% of my damage. It's Stomp, Chi Burst, Aspect of Harmony, and Breath of Fire. Okay, we might be onto something here, guys. We might be onto some more like non-weapons of order build, which I don't even want to say it's like it's a minimalistic button build, because you are still like, you're actually technically hitting more rotational shit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come into a key probably later and like with actual people and test this out. But man, here's the build one last time before I dip from the video. But let me know what you like. I'm not saying it's good, just like I'm not saying the non-breath build was good, but I think this could be something for anyone who's interested. So I'll be testing this probably later this week on PTR once we get the next cycle of dungeons to come back up. I'll be playing with hopefully some actual people. But yeah, that is the cook. All right, catch you later. Bye.